name is Sara Geenen. I'm a professor at the Institute of Development Policy at the University of Antwerp, Belgium, and a co-director of the Expertise Center on Mining Governance at the Catholique University of Bukavu, DR Congo.
I'm Janvier Kilosho Buraye, a professor at the Catholique University of Bukavu. Within the Faculty of Economics and Management, I'm a co-applicant in this project, and we've been working together on a project with my colleague Salaam.
Our study focuses on formalization of artisanal and small-scale mining, trying to link formalization to the issues of social protection on the one hand and financial inclusion on the other hand. These three concepts can actually constitute a virtuous cycle with social protection and financial inclusion being incentives for artisanal miners to formalize. And at the same time, this can also be outcomes of a formalization process. So we've been looking into how to actually break into the cycle. What are the entry points into it? Starting from practices already adopted by artisanal miners in the Luala province in southeastern DRC. So these are miners that are mining cobalt. And we've been looking at financial inclusion practices and social protection practices.
I think I can base myself on the aspect, the financial inclusion aspect of the study. And in terms of new information, our conclusions are like, first we have a context of financial exclusion. Another element is related to income, and most of the reasons that justify this exclusion, you have income and the characteristics of artisanal mining.
For social protection, we are looking at the context of cobalt mining, which is a critical mineral, and there's a lot going on in the sector. There's a lot of concerns as well around risks associated to artisanal and small-scale mining in cobalt. And there's a lot of attention for particular types of risks. Lately, some accidents and landslides have even been in the media, but there is much less attention actually for chronic illnesses and all kinds of health impacts that have a longer-term effects on people's health. There is also hardly any, if not no, attention for issues such as maternity leave or pension schemes. What do people do when they are just physically exhausted and when they are at an age at which they can no longer mine? So we have found that kind of attention, it's really lacking, but those are issues that miners are struggling with. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is that we're very much looking at the organizations, so the mining cooperatives, but also informal associations, and trying to document the roles that they play in social protection.
I think for the financial inclusion aspect, we come out with some recommendations by now that can lead to design a system, a financial system that is adopted to current practices on the ground. And I think this is the main point we need to address more in the future.
I think our audience in the first place are the workers and miners involved in the extraction, and also a lot of like service provision positions, like all workers within the mines who are exposed to these kind of risks. And then, of course, surrounding them, there's different levels of government who are involved in designing policies, but not always, these policies are not always effectively implemented on the ground. So I think we want to look at that dimension, but also like international donors. You have a lot of initiatives for responsible sourcing in the cobalt sector that are internationally driven. So I think at some point we also want to make a contribution towards making suggestions to improve these schemes, or so that these schemes would also include these social protection linked aspects that we're looking at. We're not yet there, but we want to keep on working a bit on this, also linking the work on financial inclusion and social protection with work that's being done on health within the AEGT project.